Welcome back everybody, Matt the Man here. Today is December 9th? Yeah, December 9th, which means it's post December 4th. Which means, well, a lot of you know what happened on Saturday. The Batman is broken now, once again. Matt the Man here. The bat has been snapped. Let's just say that. You know how I said in my last, a week ago, big surprises in December? This was not it. This was not it. What happened on Saturday was not the big surprise. It was a surprise, but not the one I wanted. You know what I mean? But hey, something had happened eventually. It's been 10 years since something happened to me. So, you know, it's about time. It's about time. I just want to know, the doctor that told me, oh, the knee will never come out again. The knee is completely fixed. La-di-da-di-da. Where were you on that one, dipshit? Way to go, doctors. Doctors. You can't trust them, no matter what they say. But anyway, we're not here to talk about that, but we are here, as you see my Santa hat is on. You know, I wanted to do something interesting this week. Last Thursday I was at my sister's place. We were watching a Christmas movie, and we brought up the discussion of if they were to remake It's a Wonderful Life, who would play the famous role that James Stewart played, George Bailey. Who would play the new George Bailey in a remake of It's a Wonderful Life? Yes, it's kind of a sacrilegious thing. Who would dare remake one of the classic Christmas movies of all time? It's like, who would ever make The Godfather again? You know, a certain movie should never be remade. But I said to myself, yeah, we've had some movies that were kind of a riff or a spin on It's a Wonderful Life. Most notably about, even now, 21 years ago, The Family Man, starring Nicolas Cage and T. Leone. That came out in 2000. So that's already 21 years old. I mean, they could remake The Family Man by now, if they wanted to. But I said, let's think about this too. I was saying right now, if they were to remake It's a Wonderful Life 20 years ago, we already know who would have played George Bailey. You know him, I know him. He's America's sweetheart. One of the actors that I think everyone would have a heart attack if something bad came out about this actor. And that is none other than Tom Hanks. If they remade It's a Wonderful Life 20 years ago, early 2000s, maybe late 90s, Tom Hanks would have easily played George Bailey. No doubt about it. And they probably got like Meg Ryan to play Mary, the girl. But if they were to remake the movie today, or in another year or two, it was going to be released. I'm going to go through my list of actors, and you can decide if you think who you think is the best fit to play the new George Bailey, a role that was iconic, a character that was iconic, and a role that was iconic for James Stewart back in the 40s. So here we go. My first pick for the new George Bailey would be Jude Law. Gyllenhaal has the look, the charisma, He's also played some darker roles, like in AI, Artificial Intelligence, Road to Perdition, but also if you see him in like The Holiday with Cameron Diaz, another Christmas movie, he has that charm, that likability that I think would go a long way for a George Bailey. And even though he is 48 years old, so, I mean, Jimmy Stewart was like 39 when he played the role, but, you know what, if they wanted to go with more of a guy really in his midlife crisis, Jude Law would probably be a great fit. Alright, number 2, and this actor is the oldest actor on here, Ewan McGregor, Moulin Rouge, Star Wars and Obi-Wan Kenobi. He was just in the Dr. Sleep movie, playing Danny Torrance. Once again, another actor, he's a great actor. He also has that charm, likability, but also goes to a little bit darker places. Like It's a Wonderful Life, what It's a Wonderful Life calls for in the third act. You know, lately he's been like in Dr. Sleep. He played a dark character in that. Birds of Prey. Also, you look at the movie The Impossible, he really had to deal with a tsunami and deal with the consequences of that. So, and he's a likable guy. Everyone who's ever met Ewan McGregor says he's a great person to be around. Now we're going to go into like the early 40s actors, and what my number 3 pick is Joseph Gordon-Levitt. Joseph Gordon-Levitt is 40 years old. I can't believe he's already 40. He doesn't look it, but Joseph Gordon-Levitt to me could play that likability. Like if they want to go with someone younger. He just has that look, and he's also played, once again, another actor who has gone through some darker roles. Looper, 50-50. But once again, he also has that charm, like in 500 Days of Summer. And we haven't seen him lately that much, so I think that would also be a nice, return to form for Joseph Gordon-Levitt. Not my first pick, but I think they want to go with someone younger. He would be it. Number 4, Ryan Gosling. I don't know what not to say about Ryan Gosling here. He has the charisma, he has the charm. He has that look that he can be the family man type of role. Look at First Man, Crazy Stupid Love. He can be funny, but then he has some darker roles, like Drive, or The Place Beyond the Pines. Also, I'm going to go with Ryan Gosling here. One actress he has great chemistry with is Emma Stone. To me, she playing the girlfriend/wife. That'd be a great casting. So yeah, Ryan Gosling probably would truly be like my number 2 or 3 pick on this list. Now this is an actor that at first I didn't think about, but then he came to my mind, and I looked at him compared to Jimmy Stewart, and I said, you know what? It might be the most, not necessarily out there choice, but a choice that at first you go, huh? And then a second later you would go, yes, him. And that would be Benedict Cumberbatch. A lot of people know Benedict Cumberbatch by now. He was in Star Trek Into Darkness as Khan. He's obviously Doctor Strange in the Marvel Universe. If you look at this actor, his look, he's tall, you put a wear a jacket over him, business attire, likability, he has charm, he can go to dark places. I actually think Benedict Cumberbatch would actually be probably my number one choice. And the one that looks most like James Stewart in a way. Then you can get like a Rachel McAdams to play opposite of him if you wanted to. But yeah, he Benedict Cumberbatch, and he's only 45. So, oh yeah, Ryan Gosling was 41. So, someone in their 40s probably wouldn't be a bad idea. Okay, so my next pick, I don't even know what number I'm at. 4 or 5, whatever. 6, I don't know. This might be a choice that you go, oh, come on. But, if you want to go with an actor who has proven he can do everything from comedy to drama to psychological to sports to family man, like in The Company Men, none other than Ben Affleck. I know some people may be like, huh? But Ben Affleck has shown he can do it all. Then you look at like The Company Man, where he is The Company Men, where he's an average guy who has a family, trying to make it, loses his job. He can wear the suits well, he's likable, a lot of people like Ben Affleck, charm, charisma, and one thing we've seen him going in some dark places, Bruce Wayne, anyone. So, even though he's one of the older ones on the list, 49, but I would also say, if you know someone who's having like a midlife crisis, Ben Affleck wouldn't be a bad idea. Okay, and my next pick, one of my favorite actors, Jake Gyllenhaal. He's 40 years old. And once again, another guy. He has the charm, charisma, people like him, except Taylor Swift. He can go to those dark places like in Nightcrawler or Prisoners. But then you see him in movies like Love and Other Drugs, where he brings that charm and likability. He just has that look. I mean, you look at him and you go, yeah, I can see him playing George Bailey. Yeah. He just has something about him that, yeah, he would work. And once again, if you want to go with someone he has really good chemistry with, not Taylor Swift, Anne Hathaway, they've done a few movies together, and they always seem to gel perfectly. From Brokeback Mountain to Love and Other Drugs. Now, for my kind of off the cuff, someone in their 30s, I'm going to go with Andrew Garfield. Some people know him as in The Social Network. I think he played Peter Parker as Spider-Man for 2 movies. Hacksaw Ridge. He has a new movie on Netflix called Tick Tick Boom. Andrew Garvin is one of the most underrated actors. He's not my favorite Spider-Man, but he did do a great job in the role. But Andrew Garfield, to me, actually, if you want to go with a younger Jimmy Stewart, Andrew Garfield fits that to a perfect T. You look at him in The Social Network, near the end when he's wearing the suit jackets, and he's looking, confident and this and that. You look at him in the Amazing Spider-Man movies, his chemistry with Emma Stone, perfect. You get Emma Stone to play, the love interest, Mary. That can be great chemistry there. But yeah, Andrew Garvin, he's the youngest one on the list. I think he's like 30, 34, 35 now. But, like I said, he would probably nail that role. Plus, he can probably go into those darker moments that would work. So yeah, those are my picks. If they were to remake It's a Wonderful Life, but you tell me, which actor on this list, or do you have an actor that you would say, you know what, that actor would work better? I want to know. You tell me in the comments. In the comments below. Once again, Matt the Matt here.